If you haven't got problems, I feel bad for your son. I got 99 problems and a bitch ain't one.
All right, welcome back to yet another fun-filled, exciting episode of 99 characters, but a Stitcher ain't one. Marvel Strike Force with Damian Harmony and Ian MacDonald. I'm Damian.
And I'm Ian, and I've changed my T-shirt this week.
Yeah, my cat peed on my sweater, so necessity has made it so I've had to change mine.
All right, okay.
So that's fun. So today's episode, titled Strange Tales. Hey, Ian, what if I want to do a good hero team in the beginning? What do you suggest?
Well, I think in the beginning there was like in the beginning I think it's sort of Avengers really that you need to sort of concentrate on. They're the sort of the best kind of early team that will see you through to sort of mid game and a little bit late game as well. The other good sort of hero team to sort of concentrate on, I would say, would probably be Guardians.
Oh, really?
Because they can three of them anyway, are really helpful in unlocking Ultron from Dark Dimension 2, namely Star-Lord, Rocket, Raccoon, and Groot. They're sort of three staple members of a good team that will help you unlock unlock Ultron. But of course, to get to Star-Lord, you need to have 5 either Ravager or Guardians characters.
Okay.
So that can be a little bit troublesome. But certainly, I mean, in the sort of the early going, in the early sort of campaigns, you can build up. So who's that we've got here? We've got Punisher there. We've got Hawkeye, obviously, to help with your Avengers team. Punisher, he's just been given a new team in the Skill Military team. That's still up for debate whether they're actually any good or not.
Okay.
And in the Heroes campaign, well, there's no heroes in the second run. And then you've got your Cap and Luke Cage as well that you can farm on Chapter 3. Cap, great player, sort of up to end the game as well. I'm currently trying to get him to tier 14,
Excellent.
I think. Luke Cage, he'll help you out at the start of the game, but after a while, he just becomes pretty redundant. And there's our first.
Because there's I assume he's redundant because there's other protectors that do a better job, or
There are other protectors that do a better job, but just his team as a whole, the defenders, so Iron Fist, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and then another, usually Punisher.
right?
They have decent synergy with each other, but they don't sort of scale up well. They're okay at the start of the game and maybe a couple of years back, but apart from that, they don't really scale that well. Their base stats aren't as good as other teams that have come out since. Their Chapter 4, we've got, your friend, not mine, as in she's a pain to play against, not the best to have. Shield, what's her name again? Shield Operative.
The Shield Operative?
Of course,
Yeah.
Because she does help with, because what a good thing now is that there is the new recurring legendary event, which is Nick Fury. He used to be a 5-star unlock.
Wow.
But now it's been down to a 3-star unlock. So when I say all you need is 3 Kree members at 5 Kree members at 3 stars. And that will unlock you Nick Fury, who early game will help you out massively. You can pair him up with your kind of Avengers because he has the Avengers tag as well. So yes, certainly Avengers are the ones to go for early game. They will see you right through to the end. Guardians, another good pick. But also Fantastic Four. They're a good team to sort of start building when you can. I think Mr. Fantastic is through the nodes. You can get a couple of other of them in the various stores for currency, obviously. And Invisible Woman is a legendary unlock.
So let me break down each one a little bit more, because the Avengers, well, they've been around a long time, so they're going to have a lot of different members, I would imagine. Are you talking specifically Wave 1, or any 5 Avengers or do, or which early 5 would you recommend? Or maybe early 7, if possible, because some people will unlock different ones, or they'll prioritize different ones.
The Wave 1 ones work better together, without a doubt. So you're looking at Hulk, Captain America, Hawkeye, Black Widow, and then the 5th is always up for debate, whether you want to use Thor or whether you can unlock Iron Man. Personally, I think that Iron Man is better for me, because I've got him at 7 red stars.
Well, that'll do it, yeah.
That'll do it. But if I was starting out, I think Thor has got the better synergy, and he's just a lot better character, despite Iron Man being a legendary. But the problem you have with that is that Thor is also an Asgardian. So you're taking someone out of the Asgardian team and putting them into an Avengers team. If you're just building up, because you're not going to get Hela for a while, you're not going to get, I think, Heimdall for a good while as well. So you're not really going to be building up an Avengers team straight off the bat. So you can
Asgardian team, you mean?
The Asgardian. What did I say?
Yeah, you said Avengers.
Avengers. Yeah, you're not going to get the Asgardian team straight off the bat. So stick Thor into the Avengers. And as for another member, Quake is quite helpful early on. She sort of scales down. She's also an Inhuman. She can work well with the Avengers. I'm not sure if she's got the Avengers tag. She
doesn't, but she works with Cap because they're both S.H.I.E.L.D.
Both S.H.I.E.L.D. and military, I think, as well.
And
then obviously any of the minions, any of the S.H.I.E.L.D. minions, they work well with the Avengers also.
And those are easily farmed too. Early on too, right?
Those are relatively easily farmed. A lot of them are, because you get S.H.I.E.L.D. Medic from the get-go. S.H.I.E.L.D. Security is from, I think, the Raid store. You can get Operative from one of the other stores as well. So depending on the amount of currency that you have, you can invest in these teams. I would say that there are better characters to invest in than those two in the stores. I'm sure we'll get to that at some point. But yeah, as far as sort of good early teams that will set you up long term, I'd say Avengers and probably the Guardians of the Galaxy as well.
And I did want to ask about Guardians. So it sounds like the Avengers, you can pretty much farm your way to the Avengers. But the Guardians, you said that there were other things that I would have to unlock to get to the Guardians. So to get a good, first off, the good Guardian team, I assume, would be Star-Lord, Drax, Gamora, Rocket, and Mantis?
No. Who are you missing out?
No.
Well, basically...
Groot.
Groot. How could you forget Groot?
Okay.
So basically...
because he's a big tree. I couldn't see him for the forest.
Yeah. You couldn't see the wood for the tree. You couldn't see the wood for the Groot. The Groot for the trees, whatever it is. Anyway, so ideally it would be Star-Lord, then Rocket, then Mantis, then Groot, then Drax.
Okay, leave Gamora out.
Oh, Gamora's trash. Gamora's
bummer.
Terrible character. Sure, and so is Nebula. Maybe they can get some synergy with those two. But yeah, don't bother about Groot. Don't bother about Gamora or Nebula to start with anyway.
Okay. Just keep it a boys' club.
Keep it a boys' club apart from Mantis.
Those aren't as farmable, you said. You said that I will have to get other people in order to get Star-Lord, for instance.
To get Star-Lord, yes. Star-Lord is still a 5-star unlock with either Guardians or Ravagers. Now, in the Ravagers, you are looking at some pretty ropey characters that you're not going to be using at any other point, to be honest.
So just for the purpose of getting Star-Lord?
Just for the purpose of getting Star-Lord. Just for getting Star-Lord, I upgraded my Ravager Boomer to 7 stars.
Oh, Lord.
It had to be done. Because... And that was when Mantis wasn't available. Because Mantis wasn't released at the same time as the other Guardians.
She came in the second movie, so yeah.
Especially when Drax got his fingers in. But yeah, Ravager Boomer... But Ravager Boomer, I think, is is a necessary evil, to be honest with you. And
Okay.
he's really easy to farm. He is found in one of the easier stores, in the Blitz supply store. You can get him in the Blitz supply store. So if you Blitz semi-regularly, you'll be able to sort of build him up. He's a horrible character. In fact, just the other day, I pulled a 6 red star on him, and I almost cried.
Just because of what a waste.
Yeah, because you know when you open an orb and you see the gold thing coming down in the middle, and it's like, I've won the lottery. It's Christmas Day. It's Thanksgiving, all rolled into one. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Phoenix, Black Bolt, Hela, Anti-Venom? Who knows? It's fucking Ravager Boomer. So yeah, I had a little cry at that. But he is useful to get to the 7 stars, eventually to get to a 7-star Star-Lord. But you can work on this, the other 5 Guardians if you want, because there are 5 Guardians available to actually unlock Star-Lord. But Star-Lord makes that team work.
All right. So, so in order to get Star-Lord, which will get me a good Guardians team, I need to beef up my Ravagers. You had also mentioned Nick Fury. And Nick Fury works, I assume he plays well with others. And we're going to have a whole episode on like the most versatile characters too. But he's a shield guy. He's probably military. I don't know if he connects to Avengers. But he's kind of, speaking of getting your fingers in, he's got his fingers in all the pies. And you said to get Nick Fury, you have to get a bunch of Kree.
Bunch of Kree, yeah. But just to go back to the Guardians, you don't have to do the Ravagers now, because you can farm Rocket, Gamora, Groot, Drax, and the other one that I've forgotten. I remember Groot.
Mantis,
that's the one.
Yeah.
So you can farm 5 Guardians, which is okay. But it depends on the sort of the easiest route for you. As I say, Ravager Boomer, he's an easy farm, so that's why I sort of went to him. Certainly when it comes to Nick Fury, it's Kree minions that you need to unlock him, and those guys are pretty trash, to be honest with you. There are some interesting ones in Kree, as in Captain Marvel, Minerva, fantastic characters, absolutely fantastic characters.
I have a hard time against Minerva.
Everyone does. She is. I do believe that when they brought Minerva out, that that Fox Next, the people that made the game at the time, didn't realise exactly what they were unleashing, because she is just a complete game changer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, even when you unlock her, it just changes the game for you. Even at 2 stars, you don't need to have high stars on her. There are certain characters that only really work when you start getting the high stars. Like Cull Obsidian is one of those that you really need high stars on. But a 2-star Minerva obviously isn't as good as a 6 or 7-star Minerva. But the difference isn't as wide. Certainly.
Yeah, the curve is flattened. Unlike America with COVID. Yeah.
We're doing not bad over here with that. Ultimus, you're not going to... Well, he's not a minion anyway. Korath the Pursuer, I don't think he's a minion. No, he's not. No. But the minions that you'd be looking at would be Kree Royal Guard, Cyborg, Reaper, Oracle, and Noble. So it's these 5 sort of in the middle. Again, they're a necessary evil. If you want to get Nick Fury, they're a necessary evil. But again, it is another team to build up. That will be you with a complete team. So they are worth it in one way, but don't think that you're going to be breaking any sort of arena records with a Kree team.
Okay, so far I hear Avengers good because they're independently farmable. If you want a Nick Fury shield team, which is not anything that you should poo-poo, but you do have to dive into the Kree first. Yeah. If you want the Guardians, you have to dive into Ravagers, unless you want to go without Star-Lord, in which case you're just kind of suboptimal. And then you'd also mention the Fantastic Four. which tickles me because they are the first family of Marvel. You know, they are the first series that came out that wasn't part of like a Tales to Astonish or whatever. Like they were their own comic first. So you said you can farm Mr. Fantastic through the nodes, and I know that wow, your cat is going crazy.
Yeah,
I know that I got what do you call it? A Human Torch pretty early on. And he seems like I can grab him through currency. Same with the Thing, actually. And so now tell me about the Invisible Woman, and then I have a question for you about the fifth member of that team. So how do I get the Invisible Woman first?
Well, Invisible Woman she's a legendary unlock, which is why we'll go on to this in another one, but it is best to build up your Sinister Six team, because Invisible Woman is a Sinister Six unlock, and also Shuri is a Spider-Verse unlock, which is Sinister. So basically, with Sinister Six, you're able to get two legendaries.
Two different.
But Sinister Six is specifically for Invisible Woman. And she just makes the team. As with a lot of the legendaries, the legendary makes the team.
Okay. So, all right. So you get her, and then I got Namor pretty early on, and I know that he has always held a torch for Sue.
Yeah.
In the comics, how does he work with that team, with that particular squad?
Well, I mean, he came out at the same time as the rest of the Fantastic Four. He is he's a really good character. Obviously, he doesn't fit in with the Fantastic Four tag wise, but he does do a lot of damage with his first move, the big sort of sea monster serpent.
Oh yeah, you get the fish swipe.
Yeah. There are, as it says here, they're really good on war offense. They are a really good war offense team. But Namor does fit in well with them. The tags, none of the tags really correlate with the rest of the Fantastic Four.
I see what you did there. Correlate.
Yeah, yeah. Punter, and I don't even know it. But yeah, he's got a lot of Fantastic Four tags on his descriptions, specifically on war offense. So he does do a lot of damage, and is a real help to the Fantastic Four team. I've not built up mine at all, really, but they are a team worth investing in, certainly.
Yeah, I think they're one of those reluctant teams for me. Like they're just kind of they are the white bread of teams. So they're not particularly exciting. Their blue isn't even that vibrant. It's just kind of there. They're more interesting, frankly, for like literary criticism theory than they are for anything else. But okay, so we've got as far as the teams go, we've got the Avengers, which I can farm. We've got the Guardians, which I need to get. I was going to say Reavers? No. Ravagers.
Ravagers, yeah.
Reavers are what you use in your wash. But Ravagers I would need to get in order to get the full complement of the Guardians, because that's where Star-Lord is. If I want to get Nick Fury and start up a good shield squad, then I can do that if I go dive into the Kree. And if I want the Fantastic Four, I need to get Sinister Six in order to unlock Sue Storm. So
that's right, yeah.
Avengers, Sinister Six, and then Kree and Ravagers, so that then I would get two more other teams. So I mean, that's a good 6 teams to start with. That's not a bad place to go. So
absolutely,
cool.
Yeah.
What's your favorite team early on? Like not even necessarily the best, but just a favorite one to play. Unless you had another thing you were going to show me.
No. My favorite one to play. You're not going to like this, man. You're not going to like it.
I know exactly where you're going.
Yeah, you can see them in the middle there.
Yeah.
Baron Zemo is just a ton of fun to play with. He's a ton of fun to play with, yeah. He just does so much naughty things to the opponents. Not politically, but certainly physically.
Do you know his history in the comics at all?
I don't actually know.
Oh, so and I'll be very brief. So essentially, he's an unreconstructed Nazi. His mask stuck to his face because of the goop that he was making, thanks to Cap. And he's one of the Nazis who got away to South America. So the first time the Avengers run into him is because, and so it's kind of interesting how, because that did happen. A lot of Nazis ran away from South America and then got money from us. So sorry about that, world. But he is absolutely Marvel kind of plucking that out of the culture and putting it into a comic where we could actually at least punch the Nazi again. So, but yeah, anyway, so you like using him because he stymies the other characters.
Yeah. Basically from turn one, he just goes to town on the other characters. Red Skull as well. He just summons in minions and do not do that. I've got a cat here that is determined to ruin this broadcast.
So if somebody wants to be a sympathizer to the Third Reich through this game, how do you farm Red Skull and Baron Zemo real quick?
Red Skull is in the Doom nodes, I think it is later on. He's sort of hard node farmable, so you're not going to get him until late game anyway. Baron Zemo is currently not farmable. You get him from an orb, or you don't get him at all.
Oh, wow. Okay. Cool.
Not really.
Well, cool. I know what teams I'm going to go take a look at and farm. This should be a lot of fun. So I appreciate you telling me about that. Hey, Iain, where can people find you if they want to ask you questions or enjoy your comedy?
You can search on YouTube, Iain MacDonald Comedy. You'll be able to find me there. And then all your usual socials at iMacPun.
Very nice.
What about yourself, Damian?
Oh, there you go.
I had to remember your name and not call you Daniel this time. So.
Oh, hey now. Remember, my hairline is crooked. His is a widow's peak. That's the difference.
All right. I thought you were going to say your hairline's crooked, but his occupation is... Oh, no, wait.
So let's see. I can be found at Harmony on Twitter and Insta. I also have my own YouTube channel. So if you want to learn about conditional statements in the Latin language, you can go check that out and learn lessons in Latin grammar. I'm also I've got a podcast where actually we talked about the Fantastic Four. We've talked about comic books a lot on it, come to think of it. But I've got a podcast called A Geek History of Time. And if you go to that, you could actually find the episode where I talk about the Fantastic Four. I would almost say ad nauseum, but quite frankly, it stayed pretty fascinating all the way through, and how it was just a grotesque representation of the American nuclear family. We also had a 3-parter on the X-Men and civil rights and gay rights and stuff. So we've done a lot of comic book stuff. So. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't really know how to sign off, so feel free to message either of us with a good sign-off line, because until then, I'll just tell you next time you will find Tales to Astonish when we talk about different currency. So I'm Damian Harmony.
I'm out of here.